Chelsea have found their Mauricio Pochettino successor in Leicester City's Enzo Maresca. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another video. Yes, it seems that Chelsea's search for a new head coach, new manager, whichever phrase you want to use to fill in that vacant position at the Stamford Bridge right now, has seemingly been found in Leicester City's Enzo Maresca. Just obviously, we're waiting for official confirmation. We're waiting for seemingly a compensation package to be agreed between the two clubs. But it does seem that Maresca is open to joining Chelsea. Chelsea have identified him as their number one target. It seems to be okay between club and manager. Now we just are waiting for confirmation. We're waiting for an agreement between club and club in terms of obviously getting the green light for this deal to go through. But it does seem that Chelsea have found their man indeed in Leicester City's Enzo Maresca. We're going to be talking about this move. We're going to be talking about Maresca. We're going to be talking about Chelsea and everything else in between. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always appropriate, greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it in regards to this story down below in the comment section. I'm sure it'll make it interesting, great reading. Otherwise, let's get on with it. Let's talk Enzo Maresca going to Chelsea, it seems. Now, of course, like I say, it's not all done and dusted. It's not official. It's not confirmed. But it does seem likely that with all the stories today buzzing around the Chelsea and the Premier League managerial merry-go-round, that Enzo Maresca will become a Chelsea manager. The next in line to become Chelsea manager. How long that will be for, only God knows. But it does seem like he's going to be next to fill in that hot seat at Stamford Bridge for at least the foreseeable future. Now, what do we know about Enzo Maresca? Well, we know he is basically a student of the game under Pep Guardiola. Spent quite a few years under Pep Guardiola. Was obviously at Manchester City as part of the coaching staff. Moved to Parma. The least said about his first outing as a senior manager at Parma, the better. And then obviously moved back to Manchester City under Pep Guardiola, learned a bit more from him, and then ventured out into the Championship with Leicester. And within this past season, of course, Leicester have gained entry into the Premier League, winning the Championship, and of course gaining promotion to England's top flight division. A fantastic achievement, yes. Maresca was praised highly for how well he had obviously got his hands on the team, moulded it into his image, playing some very good football for the Championship, and of course raced away with it a large part of the season, absolutely raced away with the Championship. It did come under a little bit of criticism towards the end of the season, towards the end of the campaign, where Leicester seemingly threw away quite a pretty healthy position at the top of the Championship table, but they managed to hold their nerve towards the end to, of course, secure not only automatic promotion, but of course the Championship title as well. A fantastic achievement by Maresca and by Leicester, who of course are back in the big time, back in the top flight division, where it seems that a point deduction may await them. But that's neither here nor there. That's a completely different story away from Maresca, of course. What we know of Maresca's style, very much Pep Guardiola-like. So Chelsea have decided to go for another kind of disciple of Pep Guardiola in terms of playing a bit of Pep ball with a little bit of modification in between. And you would imagine that with the amounts of money that Chelsea are pumping into their squad, you would imagine that maybe he will get some players in there playing that kind of good football. It would obviously be a step up, shall we say, from Leicester, with all due respect to the Foxes. But ultimately, it would obviously be a very good opportunity for Maresca to fulfill. The only issue that I can see is that, of course, it's a young manager, somewhat inexperienced, not actually managed in the Premier League, despite obviously being a disciple of Pep Guardiola, managing a Manchester City team. I think if I'm right in thinking, I think he won like the Premier League, the second sort of Premier League, like the I can't remember what kind of age range it is, but it's sort of like a youth Premier League setup they've got. I think he won that with Manchester City before. I could be wrong on that, but I do remember reading something about that. He's still not managed in the top flight division. It's a massive risk. And look, people will say, well, Mikel Arteta didn't. And he moved from being Pep Guardiola's second in command to, of course, Arsenal. And look what happened with Arsenal. But at the same time, Arsenal showed that they have patience. Arsenal showed that they had resilience to go through a couple of 8th-place finishes to obviously get to where they are now, where they are back in the Champions League. They are back to competing at the top of the table for the Premier League title. They are on course to continue an upwards trajectory in which eventually they will win a major trophy, in which they will be still competing on a regular basis for the major trophies. I'm not so sure that this fan base, this club, this ownership is the right combination to be putting your faith in a manager who is lacking in experience, young, obviously looking for a much more longer term project. I don't think all of those things mix well together. I really, really don't, unfortunately. And look, I want to always give someone the benefit of the doubt. I always want to see what kind of things can happen. And look, I could be wrong on this, and it won't be the first time that I've been wrong on something. And obviously, like I keep saying on these types of videos, I am looking at this from the outside looking in terms of being a Liverpool fan. I'm not a Chelsea fan, I'm not a Leicester fan, I'm just looking at this from the outside looking in. I've watched a few Leicester games this season. I always try and watch a few Championship games. I've watched a few Leicester games, some Ipswich, obviously, some Southampton, the ones that are coming up, just to name a few. But in saying all of that, this is a very, very volatile, a very delicate situation. Very delicate situation. We've seen how Chelsea fans treated Graham Potter. We've seen how Chelsea fans treated Mauricio Pochettino. We've seen how the Chelsea board have reacted to both of those managers. We've seen a Chelsea club that has changed so much in the past couple of years that I think it's been unprecedented with how much change there has been at that football club, whether it be on the pitch or off the pitch, behind the scenes or in front of the scenes, so to speak. There's been so much change there that I'm not 100%, I wouldn't be 100% confident in this. I genuinely wouldn't be 100% confident in this. It's another new manager, it's another new direction. It is a young manager at that, inexperienced. It's a young manager who basically has a championship win under his belt, which is fantastic, which is brilliant. The Championship is a very difficult league. It's a very exciting league, but it's a very difficult league to get out of, let alone win it. So there is definitely credibility there to an extent. But at a club like Chelsea, with everything going on right now, with all of them things that I've mentioned previously in this video, an impatient fan base, an impatient club, I'm very wary that this could all go very, very wrong indeed. And like I say, my thought for Chelsea was going to be consistency and stability, and Pochettino was it. And again, we'll never fully probably understand or know the full details of the situation as to what led Pochettino to leave Chelsea. But in saying all of that, throwing in a manager who is, at this moment in time, below Pochettino's level in terms of where they're at right now. Maybe his potential exceeds Pochettino, but let's face it, the potential and all of that stuff is later on down the line in the future. How much patience does this fan base, does this club have? It just seems like a very delicate situation to me, and one that could easily go wrong if not treated correctly. For me, I think this is going to be a manager who will jump at the opportunity, simply for the reason that, you know, Chelsea are a big club. Chelsea have got a lot of exciting things going on right now that on paper look good. And again, they know where they want to be. They're just not exactly 100% sure on the steps to get there. They know where they want to be. They know where they're at right now, but they don't know how to get from A to Z, so to speak, without taking steps B, C, D, E, and so on and so forth. And I didn't just say that because I don't know the alphabet. I do know the alphabet, so... but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's a very intriguing situation, one that I will be very, very much watching and looking for as the future goes on. If this obviously is to come to fruition, of course. Like I say, this is a guy who plays Pep Guardiola style football, a little bit of his own unique spin on things, of course. And is someone that has obviously got a bit of credibility in the bank with winning the championship with Leicester. A league which is obviously very difficult to get out of, very difficult to win. But someone who I think is maybe taking a bit of a poison chalice, really. It's a massive opportunity, of course it is. And I guess every manager, and I've said this time and time again, will have the ego that will basically say, yes, I can be the guy to change Chelsea's fortunes. But is he going to be the guy that is going to sit there quietly and let everything run upstairs or behind the scenes as it should? And is he going to be happy about that? Because as much as we can sit here and speculate about why Pochettino left, that may have been one particular layer of why Pochettino left. Everything happening behind the scenes may have been too much for Pochettino to handle. And he may be sat there going, well, hang on a minute. If I'm meant to be running things on the pitch, how can I run things on the pitch when I do not trust the board to run things off of it? I can't trust the recruitment side of things. I can't trust this. I can't trust that. If you're trusting me to run things on the pitch, I need to then be able to trust you to run things off of it. And this guy, being inexperienced, young, would obviously jump at this opportunity to manage such a big club. But will he be the guy to be sat here in a year or two's time going, hang on a minute, I've seen it from afar and I've seen it close up. This club is still being ran like a bit of a circus. Obviously things could change and maybe Chelsea are heading in a different direction. But it's going to be another interesting season in which you're putting your faith in a manager who has the potential, has a lot of promise, but lacks experience, and maybe will lack a hit the ground running sort of style that Chelsea fans crave, Chelsea fans demand, and Chelsea fans will obviously want to see instantaneously. Because if they don't, I don't think too many of them have the patience to hold out. And I don't think too many of them will also be clever enough not to see the common factor as to why these managers keep coming in and failing in terms of the ownership and maybe even some of the players. So that's just my take on Chelsea. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of from this guy on this particular topic. I want to know what you guys think though. What do you guys think about this whole Chelsea managerial situation, the future of Chelsea, and of course the potential of Enzo Maresca being the new Chelsea manager? Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think and feel. Your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, will make for great and interesting reading, I'm sure, down below. So please do get involved down there. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out. If you enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new and want to see more content like this. Both things are always incredibly greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see you and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers guys, thanks everyone for watching, take care, enjoy the rest of your night, speak to you again very, very soon.